I'm the Wolf of ATA, and I'm going to be doing a complete video on the 4 phases of bodybuilding. Please forgive the poor quality of the video. The content is more important than the quality. The 4 phases of bodybuilding is consume, deplete, consume, rest. Now, for consuming, you're consuming calories, which eventually be converted into glucose, which converts energy into calories. Now, the best way to understand the difference between glucose and calories, um, calories would be the electricity, and glucose would be the battery. But in the end, you don't really need to use the exact difference unless you're in that terminology. Long story short, calories are either carbohydrates, meat, or fat. Now, carbs become an energy, meat becomes like the building blocks for your muscles for you to become stronger, and fat is just basic nutrition that can become anything. Too many carbs will give you diabetes, too much meat will give you organ failure, and too much fat can give you one or both, depending upon the source of the fat that you're actually taking. That's for 1 and 3 for consumption. I'll come back to this as needed. The second one is depletion. Now, for depletion, you have your limits, train to failure, and capacity and reserves. Now, your limit is based on 3 categories. There's how much food you can fit into your stomach. Now, some people can eat more than others because they have a bigger stomach. They stretch it out with food that they eat, and other people's can't. The next one is how much of that food can you convert to energy. Say, for instance, I ate 50 pounds of just hamburger, cooked ground hamburger. That's 50 pounds, or even like say I ate like 4 Nick avocado specials. Just more food that I can fit within the back of a truck. Even if I could stretch my stomach out like a bullfrog, can my body convert that into energy? Most likely no. You have to eat the amount of food that your body can actually convert, as well as have a body that can actually burn that part. Because even if I could convert all of that 50 pounds of hamburger, if I can convert an entire cow into calories, if I don't have a body that can burn those calories, it's going to become fat, and I run the risk of having diabetes, organ failure, or both, depending upon like whether it was all meat or if it was all kale or if it was all spinach or all corn. Keep in mind different foods have different values when it comes to you, but you mostly want to focus on carbohydrates when you first you start off, because that's going to give you the energy you need to complete your workout. Now, going further on burning calories, you burn calories with everything that you do. You burn calories by moving. You burn calories by thinking. Chess players, I think, burn between 3 to 6 times the amount of calories as every other person in the world, and they don't even go to the gym. You burn calories by thinking, and when you run out of calories, you don't want to think. That's why people get stressed out and don't want to move. Your brain is a muscle. It needs to be able to burn. It needs to rest. Like there's so much calories that you can actually burn within a day. There is a limit to what you can do. It's all about how much you can convert and what you're eating. Now, train to failure. Find out what your maximum rep range is and try to get it to 5. The best way I can put it that way is, say for instance you want to curl dumbbells. You get a dumbbell that's nice and heavy, you curl it up and try to make it to where you can do 16. If you can do 16, put the dumbbell down, add more weight to it, come back in 10 minutes, do it again. If it's too heavy now, you can only lift it 3 times, put the dumbbell down, take some weight off, come back to it and do it again. You want to aim between 5 and 15. If you can lift it 5 times, perfect. That's your new weight. Lift it 5 times, then wait 1 to 5 minutes, depending upon how strong you want to be. 5 minutes would be if you want to build strength and mass. 1 minute if you want to build like tone. Like you can go even shorter than 1 minute, but that's risking the chance of being more of a cardio and less of bodybuilding. It's going to make it even more difficult. 5 minutes would be enough time for your body to recover. Because essentially, the reason why you can't lift it more than 5 times, if you find that weight and lift it up to 5 times, is because your muscles can only burn so many calories that it can actually has in it. This goes to the next part here. Capacity and reserves. In order to expand your capacity, you have to burn through 100% of your capacity and tap into your reserves. And only then will you actually be able to expand your capacity to become more capable of lifting heavier weights for longer. That's why it's set to 5 to 15 reps, 3 to 7 sets, and a rest time between 1 to 5 minutes. If you can lift it 5 times, try to lift it for 7 sets. If you can lift it 5 times for 7 sets, then you should be pushing to lift it like 15 times. Start over in the beginning. Start by lifting it 5 times, 3 sets. And once you get good at it, do 5 times, try to do 7 sets. You did 4, 5 times, try to do 7 sets. You do 8, 5 times, try to do 7 sets. If you do 7 sets, then increase it to like 10. Try to do 10. Or try to do 15 for 3. If you do 15 for 7, add more weight. increase the amount of sets you do first, and once you hit 7, then you increase the amount of reps until you can get 15 reps of 7 with 1 to 5 minute breaks in between each one. That is how you expand your capacity. And some little more food for thought is there's only so many calories that your brain and your will is able to burn within that day before you are unable to actually burn any more calories, in which case you just don't want to exercise no more. Some people can only do like up to 5 to 7 exercises a day. Some people can do like 30 different exercises a day. And what I mean by 30 different exercises, I don't mean he did like 5 minutes push-ups and that was it. I mean he did hammer curls, bicep curls, and reverse curls, and that was his bicep. Then he did shoulders 1, shoulders 2, shoulders 3. He did the same exact regimen, 15 for 7. Like he pushed everything to that limit. Like not many people can exercise for an extended period of time before they burn through all the calories that they have in their body and their mind and need to take a break and rest. That's why you have like 1 to 5 minutes. You focus on about 7 different exercises a day. That's a lot for people who are just getting started, especially if you're doing it right. And then you move on to the next step. Now, first you eat carbohydrates before in the beginning of the day to deplete the carbohydrates to expend past your capacity to burn into your reserves. And then you eat protein afterwards. So this way that the protein will eventually convert into muscle. The next one is rest. Now, the first day when you actually lift weights, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you're going to feel limp. Your muscles are not going to want to move. They might not even hurt. They just don't want to move. That's because you tore muscle fibers, fascia, nerve endings. All of that stuff has either been torn, worn out, exhausted, or just tired. Basically, what you're doing to yourself is the same as being tased, but on a very, very, very light source, because the nerves are forcing the muscles to flex. It's not nowhere near as aggressive as being tased. And you're stretching the fascia that's in between the muscles that hold them there, as well as warming up and burning calories. Day 2, it might be a little stiff and they don't want to move. You can stretch it to help build up, get rid of the lactic acid, as well as to stretch and get rid of loosen the fascia. Day 3, you're going to be sore because the damage is going to be red, is inflammation, and you're not going to want to move. Day 3, you're going to be sore. Day 4, you're going to have brand new muscle because your digestive system will absorb all the nutrients that you consumed and then put it into your bloodstream, and your bloodstream is going to put it into your biceps or whatever muscle you exercised and repair the damage of you exercising. But it's still not going to want to move effectively because it's brand new. It's not matching the rest of your body. It doesn't have like a good circulation supply chain going back and forth when it comes to exercising. Even if you do exercise, it's going to be kind of poor. Keep in mind that these days kind of change depending upon like your biology, your metabolism, and everything else, age, weight, and what exercise you're doing. But it's just basically 4 days. And in the 5th day, after the muscles have the supply chain of nutrients going back and forth, you can exercise that muscle again. This is why like a lot of professional weightlifters and a lot of athletes, they do upper body Monday, break Tuesday, lower body Wednesday, break Wednesday, and then another part of the body another day, like the parts that they missed, or full body. It's best to break the days up to different parts. This way you can hyper focus on small aspects of your body and then move on. Like an example would be arms, from here down to there. I'll work on my arms. And the next day it'll be from here, shoulders, chest, and upper back. And the next day it'll be stomach, back, and thighs. The next day it would be quads, the front of your thighs. The next day will be glutes, which is your butt, hamstrings, which is the back of your thighs, and calves. And this way I spread it out so that day 1, my arms are limp. Day 2, my arms are stiff, but I'm working on my shoulders. Or I could be better yet to do my legs. Day 3, my arms are sore, but I'm working on my core. Day 4, I have brand new arms, so I'm going to work on my chest. Day 5, I'm ready to do arms all over again. Now, you don't have to be too complicated with it. You can do 2 exercises a day or 2 exercises a week and be set. Just make sure that you train to failure with a 5 to 7 rep ratio. And you don't have to be extreme, because the extreme way is, like I said, 3 different exercises per muscle, so this way the muscle is well-rounded. Exercising the bicep like this is training the bicep differently than exercising like this and like this, because there's a lot of secondary muscles that are being exercised within that part. Now, going back to the regiment, this is basically the complete regiment. You can customize it and convert it according to your needs. Everyone has a different blood type and different biology. They respond to carbs, meat, and fat differently. Everyone has different weight and metabolism. But for as far as it goes for strength building, this is, as far as I'm concerned, a complete, well-rounded video. It doesn't matter what weight you're lifting. Follow this regimen and you will see results within 2 weeks. Like the first week, you'll set the ground periods, the test week to find out what you got to lift because you don't know how much you can lift. The second week, you will see results because I went from 45 pounds bench pressing. I did 5 sets, I did 3 sets, 5 reps. Then very next week, I went to like 7 days later. It was 5 reps for 7 sets. And then the very next week, I went up to 10. I went from 10 reps, 3 sets. Then the next week, it was 10 reps, 7 sets. And then I tried to push myself past that part. I could only do 12 reps. I lacked the stamina to go past 12. That's when you're getting the stamina part. That's why it's up to 15, so that you can burn past that part. Burn past the reserve of your reps, as well as increase the supply line of how your body responds, how quickly it can recover to go back to work, back to training, back to exercise. Once again, this is for strength and some power drills, not all power drills, because a power drill done in this manner could lead to some type of injury. Power drills should be relaxed and within your ability to enter a flow state. This is more adrenaline training.